Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Cinema Scoop podcast with Sam and Jordan. Today is our 2025 Best Films of the Year podcast episode.
Best of the best.
I think this is now our third year of doing because we did 23, 24, and now 25.
Yep.
We couldn't watch every movie that came out for obvious reasons, but
Some movies just are not available for human consumption before the end of the year and come out early the next year, but they're released in small theatrical releases or whatever. So we did our best.
yeah, there's two movies I know Jordan has seen that I have not seen, which is Hamnet and Rental Family. And I've seen the new Avatar, Fire and Ash, and Jordan has not.
And then there's a few movies that we have not gotten around to seeing that are not considered in this list that could potentially be really, really good. There's It Was Just an Accident, No Other Choice, Train Dreams, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I think those are my top ones that I would like to see, but have not been able to see.
We also haven't seen F1.
Yep. There's more than
Or,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. F1 is another one that I haven't seen. There's a couple more on my list that I would like to see, but top contenders, those are the ones that are not being considered in this list.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to do your honorable mentions first? We're just going to do our top 10.
Yep.
I guess before we start, you wanted to just mention how many times you were at the theater?
Yeah, we have made a really intentional effort to go to the movies a lot more as third place behavior. I counted. I went to the theater 25 times this year, and that feels really good.
Yeah, I think I was at 25 too.
We switch going because we have child. So it's you put her down to bed and I'll go see a movie.
So I've seen 50 films that came out this year.
And I saw 42. That's a lot of movies.
Okay, what honorable mentions do you want to mention?
So outside of my top 10, there's a few that just fell shy of the top 10 that are great movies that I would recommend, but did not quite make the top 10 cut. The fun Dave Franco, Alison Brie movie Together was just a romp-roaring, ridiculous time. Zach Cregger's Weapons was an amazing movie to see in a movie theater. Mickey 17, Bong Joon-ho movie where Robert Pattinson is a freaky little mutant guy. I put on here Andrew Callahan's Dear Kelly documentary that became available to stream this year. Wicked for Good because I am a wicked girl. Don't hate me. I also put Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning in my honorable mentions. The movie Sorry Baby was really good. Sentimental Value, Wake Up Dead Man, and Elio.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen most of those. I've not seen Sorry Baby yet, and I think you need to watch Mission Impossible again to fully appreciate it. I have a ton of honorable mentions, basically. So I have 5 films that I gave 5 stars, and then I have 7 films I gave 4.5, so that's 12 movies. And then I have a ton, I have 11 more that have 4 stars, but I also have Wicked for Good in the honorable mentions. Elio, you said. I liked Die My Love a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The Naked Gun remake with Liam Neeson.
That was really fun.
Shelby Oaks, the Chris Suckman movie.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's definitely low budget horror, but I thought it was good. Sentimental Value. Nouvelle Vague, which is the Richard Linklater movie about the French New Wave. Mickey 17 that you mentioned, Wake Up Dead Man. I like the documentary about Megalopolis. And then the 2 that were closest to the top 10 were Frankenstein and Predator Badlands. Both really good.
Love.
Okay, what's your number 10?
All right, we're going to work our way down. So I'll go 10, then Sam will go 10, etc. So my number 10 was Rental Family with Brendan Fraser. Basically a movie about a American actor in Tokyo. The American actor is obviously Brendan Fraser, who gets hired to sort of step in and play characters in people's lives when they need someone to eulogize them at their funeral, or they need like a stand-in boyfriend or whatever. And because he is such a large white American man, tall big men are kind of a hot commodity and rare in Japan, so he's often asked to do different things. It's a very, very poignant, touching movie about family and found family, and I laughed a lot watching it. I thought it was just like a very, very like touching, cute movie. I definitely cried. Loved it. Very sweet. It's a very dad movie. It's a very like you can find lots of dad figures if you look all around you type of movie, which was just like a really nice concept to me. Also, Brendan Fraser is just like really a gem. So yeah, Rental Family.
Yeah, that's one I need to catch up on. My number 10 is Weapons, which you had in your honorable mentions. Yeah, very uniquely done horror movie that was really fun.
An incredible theater experience.
Yeah. And then yeah, great ending. I think Amy Madigan's gonna get nominated for Best Supporting Actress as the Aunt Gladys. Yeah, Zach Ruggers did Barbarian a few years ago, so this was his next movie, and he's one of the newer people doing unique stuff. So
Newer doing like unique horror. It's like very palatable horror. It's not like, well, I say that. Weapons was really gory, but palatable in the terms of like it's like I feel like it's weird, but it's like accessible weird, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Like it's not too confusing. Yeah, I loved Weapons. I thought it was a great time.
okay. My number 9 is Superman.
I love Superman.
I haven't seen it a second time yet, but went to the theater, really liked it. Thought it was very positive in a negative world, and I'm not really a big Superman fan. I don't really care about him. I've seen the 78 film maybe once, and then I haven't really cared about the Henry Cavill Justice League Zack Snyder universe from the past 10 years, but this was a nice new take. David Cornsweet was really good as Superman. I liked Mr. Terrific and a lot of the other side characters, and Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor was really good.
I love Superman, but I will save my thoughts for when that
You
ends
have
up
it
on-
higher.
I have it higher than you.
What's your number 9?
My number 9, I think you have higher, and it's Eddington, Ari Aster's.
Yeah, that's way higher.
COVID era, trippy, nightmare fuel movie. I will say it's not as nightmarish as, Beau is Afraid, but we rewatched Eddington at home and I was like, man, this just like is such a solid movie. And I mean, I just feel like it polarized a lot of people, as most Ari Aster movies do, but I think a lot of people kind of were like, oh, 2020, I don't want to go back to COVID era. And it's like, actually, it's like a really hilarious take on like, what the fuck were we all doing? And like, I don't know. You told me when you came home from seeing it the first time about this scene with a big box of rainbow goldfish. And I was like, I'm just going to love this movie because it sounds really ridiculous. Like,
Yeah, there's a scene early on in the movie where Joaquin Phoenix grabs a giant carton of rainbow goldfish. And if you don't mildly chuckle or smirk when that happens, then that movie's not for you.
yeah, pretty much. There's also like a really nice scene. I say nice. Nice is like not the right word. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is set to the Katy Perry song Firework.
Yeah.
That's another really great scene. But yeah, I will watch anything Ari Aster puts out, but this after a second watch, I was like, man, this is just really good. I like it even more on a rewatch. Should I do my number 8?
Yeah.
My number 8 is Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro did the thing again. This one I saw and was immediately like, it's not perfect, but I really, really like it. It's very Netflixified, but I like it. There's budget, but I can tell it's made for a small screen, not the big screen. I saw it on a big screen and was like, this is awesome. And I wish that I want to come see this again. And then like the next week it was out of theaters and on Netflix. And I was like, what the fuck is going on with this? Like I was so mad.
Yeah, you randomly were like, oh, Frankenstein's out in theater. And then you went to see it. And then it was like, okay, I might go see it in like 1 or 2 days. And then it was just on Netflix.
Literally.
Literally like 3 days after you went.
This is a
So I saw it at home
Yeah.
later at night. And there's a few things I don't quite fully remember and I'd want to revisit. But yeah, Jacob Elordi's great.
Jacob Elordi is insanely good in this movie. And like I am but a mere girl and I get my thrills from thirsting after Hollywood boys where I get my thrills just like any other girl. And I've been a Jacob Elordi fan for a minute. However, watching this, I was like, oh, he's like an actor. He's like really good. Like it almost justifies the thirsting a little bit. Cause I'm like, oh, like he's at work. He's like doing stuff. He's not just like on Euphoria playing a high school boy. Um, and I feel like there was a lot of really good like meta to chew on with this too. Mia Goth is amazing. A leaf for me? Like, oh, she's just so perfect.
I thought Oscar Isaac was a little too much, which is why it didn't get higher on my list.
I would agree.
And
He
there were
wasn't my
some
favorite
parts
thing.
that were too visually dark, and I couldn't
That's what I mean.
understand everything that was happening.
Like those parts were great on a big screen in a movie theater because you can actually see things better. But I could tell there was something about the coloring and like the way it was done. I was like, this wasn't created for a theater, but would have benefited from being I don't know. There was something about it that I was like, this feels like it's a Netflix movie that's being forced onto a larger screen, but benefits from being on a larger screen. So that's honestly why it's like lower for me. But I mean, classic tale, amazing story, incredible acting, really nice special effects. I love Guillermo del Toro generally anyway. So yeah. What's your 8?
My number 8 is Begonia.
Ooh,
Where is that?
I've got it higher.
Yeah, this one we went together as a date to the theater. Mostly because of Emma Stone and Yorgos. But we also went because of Stavros
I was gonna
and Jesse
say.
Plemons, who's really good. He might get nominated. Emma Stone might get nominated. Yeah, as far as an Emma Stone Yorgos mix smash, I think Poor Things is better than Begonia.
Oh, for sure.
The Favorite is also really good.
Yes.
But I just like the concept of this movie. It's kind of a small, short film, or it's kind of like a one note of what it's trying to do. I mean, there's different things going on, but like the whole idea is Emma Stone an alien or not?
And then not overwrought with like unnecessary elements that are, you can easily get lost in a Yorgos movie. I feel like this one is really pared down.
Yeah. And I think someone else wrote it, so I'm wondering if maybe
isn't it an adaptation?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yes, it's like a slight twisty remake of an existing movie from like a
Korea or something.
Yeah.
It was like the green something about the cutter.
I can't remember exactly, but yes, it's like very loosely adapted from something else, which I think really benefits like the way that Yorgos does his movies. I feel like sometimes when he writes and directs, it can feel a little like Kinds of Kindness where you're like, wait, what? What's going on here?
What's your number 7?
My number 7 is Superman.
Okay.
I've said this and I will say this till the cows come home. I'm not really like a superhero person. I am so snobby about superhero movies, and like you have to like really please me in order for me to even consider watching it, let alone liking it. And I was kind of like, I don't know, there's a dog. It's Superman.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the dog.
David Cornsweet is hot. I will watch this because there's nothing else out this summer right now in the movie theater, and like you and I can go see it together. So let's go. And I think I ended up crying. Like I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was like very pointedly came out at a really good time sociopolitically. I think I love a good movie where there's like a strong male character that is like really playing into their sensitive side and showing that it's not like all alpha dudes. It's like caring about people is punk. And like, I just really liked the way they played his character. I really liked the dog. And that's all, that's all I got. Like, is really, really good. And it felt very genuine and like sincere. And I'm like just a sucker for that type of like theming in movies where it's just like really, really genuine, very optimist pilled.
Yeah, I think we needed that at the movies this year, so it was nice that the main superhero movie did that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my number, so that was your
That
seven.
was my
So
7.
my seven is Marty Supreme,
Oh, ho,
which I
ho.
just saw.
Nice.
We can talk more when it's your.
Mine's slightly higher.
So what's your 6?
My 6 is Friendship.
Okay,
And I assume that's
that's
higher.
higher for me.
Okay. Well, we can start. We're getting into top tier territory.
know.
So I've said my 6. We can get to Friendship in a moment, and we can talk Marty Supreme in a
Is
moment.
Marty Supreme your 5?
Marty Supreme is my 5.
Okay, let's talk Marty Supreme. So yeah, we had to take different shifts to go see this on different days because it was during Christmas.
Literally came out like Christmas
Couldn't
Eve.
go together. But Dorian saw it first on Christmas Eve, then I saw it the day after Christmas. It's a very unique biopic of Timothy Chalamet playing a person from like 60, 70 years ago, even though he just did Bob Dylan last year. This one is directed by Josh Safdie, one of the Safdie brothers who did Uncut Gems. And there's a lot of random people in this movie, like Tyler, the Creator, and Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, and Gwyneth Paltrow, who hasn't done much recently. And then there's a new It girl, Odessa Zion, who's in that show I Love LA, and now she's one of the main figures in Marty Supreme. There wasn't really anything I didn't like. It was just I wanted a little bit more at certain parts. And I did like the ending was really nice. But it's a lot about pursuing your dream no matter what. And when you say that no matter what part, it basically means you're going to sacrifice a lot of your relationships and your own personal things that you don't even understand yet. So I thought it was really well done. I thought there was a few minor things that could have been just elongated or like added. I don't know. I need to rewatch it, but it just felt like I couldn't blatantly make it a 5-star masterpiece.
Yeah, I like the Safdie brothers generally. Like I really enjoyed Uncut Gems. I really enjoyed Good Time. Those are both like 5 out of 5-star movies. Marty Supreme is also a 5 out of 5-star movie. But I mean, the Safdies really aren't known for hitting on like super emotionally resonant notes in their movie. So I wasn't really expecting the way that the movie ends, which we won't give anything away. But there is kind of like a nice sort of note at the end that makes you feel a little bit connected to the main character. But that's 149 minutes in that you're finally getting that. That being said, I thought it was a really enjoyable movie. One of my mutuals on Letterboxd, they worded it as, where is it? They worded this as dirtbag cinema. And I was like, Yes. I love that. All the characters are bad. Nobody is a good person, but somehow you're kind of rooting for like the best of the worst. And like, I just find that fun. And like, I think in some ways it's similar to like Wolf of Wall Street without being so finance bro pilled.
Yeah.
But also, I've heard people compare it to Tar, where it's like just really, really driven people, or like, um, what's the other one? Whiplash, where it's just like people that will do anything for greatness. I just think that's a really interesting concept of a movie. Is it my favorite movie of the year? No. Is Timothy Chalamet absolutely like crushing it? Absolutely. Like, give him the Oscar, I feel like. This is a good moment for him to get the Oscar. But really, the main thing that I loved about Marty Supreme, I'm such a Tyler the Creator fan. I just love seeing Tyler the Creator on a big ass movie screen.
Yeah,
And
that was
like
cool.
coming off of
And
the
he was
year
really
he's had in
good.
music and like going into doing this like big ass movie was just like really thrilling and wonderful. And then I love Odessa too. I like thought that was great that she was in this. It was a really fun movie. Like I told Sam at one point, I was like, my heart was pounding so fast because of just like the adrenaline that comes with the movie that I could feel like my seat, like my heartbeat in my seat in my back. And I was like, what is that? I was like, oh, it's my heartbeat. Like, but yeah, Marty Supreme. I recommend.
Okay, my number 6 is Sinners.
I have that much higher.
We'll talk about that in a minute because number 5 for me is Eddington. That was your number 9.
Yes.
Not too much to talk about with Eddington that we haven't already said, but I just wanted to shout out Emma Stone again and Austin Butler. I thought their subplot was really almost the heart of the movie, even though you think it's Joaquin Phoenix the whole time. But with the crazy, I think Joaquin Phoenix is kind of like him and Pedro Pascal are dealing with the physical craziness, societal craziness. But I think Emma Stone and Austin Butler are dealing with the mental craziness of their personal lives, and they're like on these weird journeys to figure out what to make of stuff. Where it's like Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal are almost specifically seeking out a goal within their town. Um,
But everyone in this movie is trying to seek the truth in which they believe.
yeah, it's a
Truth
very
is subjective in this
yeah. You
movie
kind of have
from
to
all
like
angles.
see through the characters' perspectives and to understand what they're doing and what's happening. But um, yeah, when we watched the second time in the house, it just solidified. It just like clicked. Like this is like uniquely like like I think there's reverence in the fact that it came out so close to the 2020, and I think a lot of people can't get past that, and I think that's just dumb.
I think
But
it's just dumb. I wish I had compiled all of the like dumbest movie takes I've seen this year because if I just rattled them off, it's like I should just never listen
this
to
has
people talk
been
about
one of the
movies.
worst discourses in movie.
Years.
This
Yes.
is the third year we're doing this. This is what's like
Like and we don't really pay attention to a lot of reviews generally speaking just because it's like we don't oftentimes like what the mass majority of people love. I think some of it falls in line, but some of it, I mean, especially like the Ari Aster Yorgos type of stuff, we tend to like a little bit more of the
yeah, we like
absurdist
some weird
stuff.
cinema.
But like at the same time, I feel like media literacy is dying and we must all return to the cinema and ask ourselves, why does this make me
Well,
uncomfortable?
it's not just movies, but I feel like us and younger people are consumed by very short and attention spans and
Yeah.
TikTok and even just watching 10-minute YouTubes is also like degrading our brains because I feel like now it's like you just mention a movie and like you can have 90% of people say, "Yep, that's a good movie and it got nominated for best picture and it won 5 Oscars."
And there's 10% of
And
people.
there's just like the 10% of super loud, annoying people who are like, I actually hate this movie.
Here's why there's
And I just feel like,
microaggressive racist undertones to this. And you're like, okay. Or
yeah, we don't have to get too much into it, but it's just like,
I
I
could
can already come up with,
I could literally spit out like the dumbest takes about my top 5 movies that I've seen on the internet that people with their whole chest will get up on TikTok and be like, this is the story time about how I went to see this movie and why I left and was pissed off. And I'm like, okay, like, what was it that Drew Gooden said? I will always come back to this. If you are constantly consuming media that you don't like,
that's
that
a
is
you
a skill
problem.
issue.
Yeah.
That is a skill issue.
No one's forcing you to watch any of these movies
exactly
or
like
shows and like, we'll get to my number one later, but actually almost all of my favorites, there's like a lot of negativity online about some of it. But anyway, we don't have to get into that. This is a positive podcast. I just thought with Eddington, I thought
that one had some pretty dumb discourse where it's
Yeah.
like, I just don't like COVID, so I don't want to watch a movie about it. Okay, then don't. Okay, then don't. Like, it's literally in the tagline. Like, it's not a surprise that that's what the movie's about. Like, you know, you're not getting kidnapped and being forced to watch it.
Okay, so what was your
So my number 6, I said it was Friendship.
Okay, that's my number 4.
Okay. We can talk about that because then I can go into my number 4, which you've already talked about.
Okay, so Friendship with Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd. It kind of came out in 2024, very limited, but it was actually released earlier this year. And then I think we just bought it on Amazon in June.
Mm-hmm.
And then we watched it a second time in December. It's by no means the best Tim Robinson thing. We really like I Think You Should Leave. We really like The Chair Company that just came out on HBO. But this is like his first big star movie, opposite of Paul Rudd, who's been in a ton of comedy movies. And like, there's a few sequences that are really funny, but I wouldn't say it immediately becomes iconic with some of the mid 2000s comedies with like Will Ferrell and stuff like that. But I think this was a good beginning project for Tim Robinson, and I think he can expand on stuff like this because he captures the suburban, angry,
Lonely.
I just gotta have my 32-ounce soda with the big red straw, and oh no, where's my phone? Or oh no, I gotta fix my phone. And then it's funny watching The Chair Company and then Friendship.
They're very different characters.
He almost is playing the same person, but he's not.
But they're very different. Friendship, he has like zero empathy towards other people. Like none. Versus in The Chair Company, he's like a very good dad, but just like does really stupid stuff in the name of being a good dad. Versus like Friendship, he literally is so like unaware socially, where he just like, if somebody says something mean to him, he's like, I gotta get back at them. If someone slights him, he's like, I have a personal vendetta against them, which it's like all relatable emotions. But he like, that's the thing with Tim Robinson generally, is that like he takes one small concept where like you are jealous of a friend, or your neighbor has a cooler drum set than you do, or your neighbor gets into a hobby that you haven't thought about doing, but now because they are, you suddenly are. Like he takes that like small, weird nuance in like social interactions, but he will take it to just like crank it up to volume 100. And that's what's so funny about like the way he does stuff. But I think his like humor delivery is very similar to The Chair Company.
Yeah, and The Chair Company is a little more surreal and ridiculous at parts.
Yeah, Friendship is like a pretty straightforward story.
Yeah, I also like Connor O'Malley
Yeah.
with his Vietnam War hat. And
I-
then the part where he
Licks a toad.
licks the toad and goes to Subway.
So you say you're gonna see God or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. There's just so many like quotable lines. I like what you said about how it's like not a comedy that's gonna actually like be more well known than some of like the Will Ferrell, Adam Sandler type stuff from like the early 2000s or 2010s or whatever. But I do feel like the more time goes on, the more that like the actual ecosphere of comedy is changing. Like we just don't have those
Yeah,
movies
this is like
anymore.
one of the few comedies of the year at all. And for it to be like 100%, this is a comedy. And it's in the vein of I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson. And then Paul Rudd is kind of the same.
He's playing Paul Rudd as a really
Yeah,
cool weatherman.
which of course he played in Anchorman.
Mm-hmm.
Or was he the weather guy? I don't remember.
I don't
He
remember.
was on that one, but um, yeah. If you haven't seen Friendship, I highly recommend it.
It's just really stupid. Like it's really good.
Okay, so my number 6 was Sinners, which I'm assuming is.
Way higher.
So what's your number? Which ones have we not done yet?
So my number 5, we already talked about Marty Supreme. My number 4 is Begonia,
Okay,
which you had Begonia where?
I have Begonia 8.
Yeah, I would say out of the Yorgos movies that I've seen, I put this behind Poor Things, and I also put this behind The Lobster. I really liked The Lobster. That was like my introduction into Yorgos, I think, and what started the love affair. I just really loved Begonia because I think it's gonna really stick the landing on rewatch. There is a reveal that happens at the end of the movie that makes you want to rewatch the movie through that lens. And I can't give anything away, obviously, but um, I know I said Timothy Chalamet, Oscar, but like Jesse Plemons is just so good in this movie that like I don't I have no words. Like it's kind of scary how greasy and like I don't know, conspiracy theory minded he is and just like how frightening his character is in the movie. So, yeah,
Yeah, he was really good.
I really enjoyed Begonia. I also thought Stavros did a really nice job of being like the worst guy imaginable. And of course he plays like a cop.
Okay, what's your next one? Sinners?
My 3?
Yeah.
We're in the top 3 territory.
Yeah.
My number 3 is Hamnet.
Which I have not seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was kind of a limited release and only for a few weeks. I went because I love Paul Mescal and I like marginally love Jessie Buckley. I haven't seen her in a lot, but um and I like most Shakespeare related things. Like I am one of the rare Shakespeare in Love fans. I like any Shakespeare adaptation. I like Shakespeare. I think it's cool nerd shit. So, seeing that this was an adaptation of a book that is a fictionalized account centered on the wife of Shakespeare, I was like, okay, all right. I like this. We're going to center women in the life of Shakespeare. Like I'm into that idea. Um anyway, went and I have never cried so hard watching a movie, let alone never cried this hard in public watching a movie. It was like I don't know what it is with Paul Mescal doing movies that just like emotionally wreck me, but like it's a beautiful movie that like I can't really explain it very well except to say that like a lot of the theming in the movie is centered around the similarities between love, birth, and death, and how all of those feelings can be really, really terrifying in the same exact way. Because in a way, you're having to like let go of your hold on life to give birth. You're having to let go of your hold on life to let someone die. You're having to let go of your hold on life to love someone else or to have a child where your heartbeat is like here but it's also over there and you can't do anything about that. They're just running around and that's part of me, but I can't do anything about it. Like how do you live with like your heart beating outside of your chest? Like that's just this whole movie like really 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 shows a lot of that. And is visually just stunning. Like incredible, incredibly beautiful, stunning wide pan shots and like nature scenes. It's like a very quiet, pensive movie for most of it. And then there's just like very solid punctuations of like emotion, whether that's love, birth, or death. Um, and it's the type of movie that when you're done, you're like, I am so sad, but also I feel so happy at the same time because there is this uniting feeling about grief where you realize that, oh, it's scary to like think about dying, but everybody goes through it and everyone has had someone die. And like we are all experiencing that same thing together, but at different times. And it's a beautiful movie. And Jessie Buckley deserves everything. And that's my speech.
Yeah. Yeah, you think she's gonna win Best Actress?
There is one specific scene that I'm like, it happened, and I was like, just start engraving it now. Like, she should get it.
Yeah, she's currently the front runner, but I think Rose Byrne is actually getting momentum
For If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I really want to see
We need to
that.
see that one.
That's another anxiety-inducing one that I'm just like, when do I have the bandwidth for that?
Okay, so you need number 2 and number 1.
I got to do my number 2 and my number 1. What's your
I'm
number 3?
assuming your 2 is Sinners.
It is.
Okay, that's my number 6. And I think your 1 is my 3, and then my 1 and 2 are unique.
So let's talk Sinners.
Okay, I'll go first. So this one I didn't see in theaters. I saw it when it got on HBO Max with you, and then I rewatched it a second time. And I think both times were very similar feelings. I gave it 4.5 instead of 5, and it's my top 4.5 star. And I just prefer Friendship and Eddington a little bit more because I just enjoy watching those movies more. Like Sinners, when you watch it the first time, I feel like it's more powerful. But as I was watching it again, I was like, okay, this whole first part is build up, which I understand. And then the vampires come. And it's not that I dislike the vampires, I just didn't love the vampires. Like, I couldn't wrap around these, like, Irish folk dancing vampires. When the movie gets, I mean, kind of spoiler, but the true ending is the white supremacist guys who are trying to, like, actually kill the Michael B. Jordan brothers and take their building back, and like that's the true vampires basically, or the true sinners. I don't know, but yeah, I'll let you glaze it up more. But I really did like it. I do see.
You had this in honorable mentions or
No, number 6.
number 6? Okay, okay.
Out of 50.
You're just being like expressly
I just
clear
know
why
that
it's
most
lower.
people have Sinners 1, 2, or 3,
Sure.
and most people think it's like number 3 as the best picture. I think it's your number 1, and then maybe Hamnet, and then maybe Sinners. I don't know.
Sure,
But
it's like in the top 3 of most people's favorite movies.
it's like
a very
I
common
like it
thing.
slightly less than what
The
I feel like
average.
most people.
No, that makes sense. So
And I do think some of that's because I didn't see it in the theater. But
I genuinely think, I mean, I saw this twice in theater. I went by myself and was like, I'm just gonna go see this dumb vampire movie because like I have loved vampires forever.
and when we first saw the trailer, I was like, "This is dumb."
This looks so
I was like,
dumb.
"Why are we doing the 2 Michael B. Jordan things?" And he's
In a
really
vampire
good.
movie. I was literally, I remember we went and saw Mickey 17 and they played a trailer for Sinners and it was on my birthday night. And I remember looking at you and being like, what the fuck are 2 Michael B. Jordans doing in a movie playing vampires? This looks so dumb. And I took myself to see it because it was like opening weekend. And the reviews for it, people were like, please just shut up and go see this movie. And I was like, fine, I'll shut up and go see this movie. And then I came home and was like, you got to stop everything you're doing and I got to talk to you about this movie because I am never going to shut up about how amazing this movie was. Like full body chills and crazy music. The like aperture change from like full screen to widescreen at like very particular moments was just so insane. And like, I mean, honestly, like I just like go brain off watching a movie like this because it's so gorgeous. And like there was just so much about it that like the best way I could explain it to people is like, why would you not watch a movie about vampires and guns? Like that's a fun time. And it's done at like the highest level of like diligency to the craft. And like it's an original story, but it has the like weight of feeling like it's somehow adapted from something or it's part of some franchise. And I was a hater. I was like, why do we need 2 Michael B. Jordans? We need 4 Michael B. Jordans. Like I'll take all the Michael B. Jordans. Give me Michael B. Jordan 17. Like I make more of him in one movie. Fine with me. This was so good. And like I can't recommend it enough. It's a movie that like I would tell absolutely anyone to watch. Like if you don't mind blood, go watch it. Like it's just so good. And like Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, all the actors are really good. Delroy
Miles
Lindo.
Catton, like insane. Like the music is really what does it though. It's like it's not a musical, but it's almost a musical.
Yeah, I think what the movie gets the most right is the heart of the film, which is the Sammy character who ultimately grows old and has that end scene with when they
Yep.
come back to talk to him. But yeah, that character mixed with the one part where they're like doing the dance or the musical party thing, and they have all the
It's like
different
time traveling.
weird like musicians of olden times and of the future. Like that was really cool.
Yep. Yep. I think that my like there's so many good lines from the movie too, but like one of my favorite lines is that scene, the post-credit scene where it's older Miles Catton and he's like talking to Michael B. Jordan. He's like, "You know, before the sun went down that day, I think that was the best day of my life." Like I just it's such a good movie. I will never get over it. We have it on 4K. Thank you for getting it for me for Christmas.
Yes,
That's a
was
movie you
Christmas
want.
present.
You want to see it on the biggest screen imaginable. You want to see it in 4K.
Maybe I need to see it a third time to give it 5 stars.
I think you do.
Okay. Number 3 for me, I believe, is your number 1. One battle after another.
One Battle is my number 1.
Yeah, I think we saw this in the theater separately, and then we just rewatched it together at home. It's on HBO Max right now. This is 95% going to win Best Picture, Best Director. Sean Penn could win Best Supporting. Leo could win Best Actor. I think it's Leo or Marty Supreme, Timmy C. All the actors in this movie are great. The sound is great. The visuals are great, which kind of makes a perfect movie. What are your thoughts on One Battle After Another?
So I love Paul Thomas Anderson generally. What's like really interesting, I wanted to see it because Paul Thomas Anderson and because Leo. I'll pretty much watch anything with Leo in it. I know he's a really shitty person. Whatever. He's a really good actor, okay? Like, it's fine. I just was so taken with this movie and like even watching it the second time at home with you, there were parts that just you don't expect to really sink its hooks in you and make you kind of emotional. I think it's a parent thing. I think it's because I'm a parent and there's so many I must say this year had a lot of parent movies. Like a lot of movies that speak to parenthood, and I think we've kind of needed that like as a society in the US this year when you're raising kids in like a very very scary time where every day you're getting news articles about the worst thing imaginable. Things just are really chaotic. Nobody agrees on anything and you're just like are we just like are we gonna survive? Like, is everything gonna be okay? Like, what's gonna happen to like we don't have any of the answers. We don't know what we're doing. And I think this movie really speaks to the scariness of that and like just what it's like to be a parent in uncertain times. And, not to spoil anything, but the end of the movie where she's reading the letter from her mom, where it says, "Will you try to change the world like I did?" And I'm like, I can't. Like, it's just, there's something about having kids where you realize, like, oh, their life isn't going to be perfect either. And they're going to have to fight bad things too and go through scary times also. But that's the joy of being a human, is having to go through scary stuff. And I also just, I can't, I mean, it's an incredible action movie at like the same time as all of that, like really emotionally resonant stuff about, you know, the family unit and found family. I think it's also like really, really, really funny. Like it's an incredibly like sharp tongue, fast witted, jokes per minute are really high. And every single like actor in this is really like, Benicio del Toro is insane. He's so good. Leo is really, really, really good as like stoner dad, like cool stoner dad, but that's like also very boomer, like doesn't really know how to like keep up with cool thing. Like it's just, it's like you've seen these people and you're like, you see the characters and you're like, I know someone like that. Like I
Mm-hmm.
know people like this. And like none of the characters are perfect. They're all just like kind of imperfect in like a really nice way. Um and the villains are actually like scary in a lot of ways, but what I like about Sean Penn in the movie so much is that, and I was telling you this the last time we were watching, I feel like sometimes when you're watching a movie with like a big bad that is really fascistic and like really horrible and like authoritarian in general, white supremacist or whatever, they like try to give them some kind of backstory to make you humanize them or understand why they would be so hateful or whatever. They don't really do that with Sean Penn, but they somehow make him very 3D and very like, you understand why he does what he does, but you don't feel sorry for him because you don't need to feel sorry for people like that. It is not worth your time and money or your blood, sweat, and tears to humanize people that are
In
bigots.
charge of the ICE
Yeah.
facility.
Yeah, that's my point. And like I think they did such a good job of not humanizing him and making him very well rounded. Um I was just so blown away with his performance. Like he was so good. He just walked around like he constantly had to stick up his butt in a peg leg. Like I don't know how he does that walk.
Yeah, it was like almost he's constipated, and they put a cork in his butt to make him
And
not
he's
poop
bloated and he's
or
like trying to keep his
whatever.
shirt buttoned all the time. Like I don't know how he does it. Incredible movie.
Yeah,
Love, love, love the movie. It's an incredible dad-daughter movie too. Like
great car
top
chase at the end.
incredible car chase. Oh my god, just such a good movie. That was my
All
number
right.
one.
Well, I've got two more to talk about.
Let's go.
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, number two. I will, if this movie has zero fans, it's because I'm dead.
Yeah, literally. Which
Really,
I don't think you're alone in this.
well, so the Mission Impossible series is interesting. We don't have to get too much into it. I really like it. There's some movies I don't care about. I really liked Mission Impossible Fallout, which was the sixth movie from I think 2018. So it took them a while to deal with COVID and the strikes, but they basically made Dead Reckoning Part 1. Instead of making it Dead Reckoning Part 2, they changed it to The Final Reckoning, which for me personally is just a very funny but memorable thing, is to like title a movie, make it be like this is the release date, and then be like actually the release date is in 2 years and we changed the title. Like stuff like that's really funny to me. But there's things this movie does that every Mission Impossible movie does, that Tom Cruise has done 100 times, that People who watch these movies, they're like, okay, I've seen some of this before, and like, there's moments in this movie that are not as good as the Part 7 Dead Reckoning Part 1. Um, but I think they work really, really good together. I retroactively gave Dead Reckoning a 5 star. I think I had it 4.5, but this one I had to see. So my number one and my number two are the only two films I saw twice in the theater. So I went
Mm-hmm.
to see Mission Impossible a second time, and just the fact that it is so anti AI in a
Mm-hmm.
world, in a time when we're literally 90% of our stock market is like in the AI bubble or whatever it is, and like nothing good has come out of it at all yet, and this movie, it's like, what if they can control the nukes, and then all the nukes got launched and all the humans died, and this all happened, in a very short amount of time. So just right off the bat, it's really compelling, and then the part with the submarine is incredible, and then the two planes at the end, the
Oh
red
my
and yellow
God.
plane.
I
That
almost
might be my
threw
favorite
up.
sequence. That might be a top five sequence in the
Seriously.
past 5-6 years.
Like I literally the whole time I was like, I can't breathe.
Yeah, so we saw this in IMAX together with my brother.
We got hot dogs and popcorn.
Got our hot
Hot
dog,
summer day. Like it was great.
and I do think the Luther death towards the beginning is handled not perfectly, but I understood it, and like, I will always lean more into a character dying for real than to be like, actually they're not dead, or actually they could be
A fake
dead, but the
out.
actor's out of contract, and now if we make another movie, like all that kind of stuff, I don't need.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need Luther and Mission Impossible 9, if they even make a 9, like, it's fine. Like, but I just think this is going to be viewed in even 1 or 2 years as a relic of the past. Like, there's a very good chance they don't make any more Mission Impossibles ever. Like, this is it. This is a very good chance this is Tom Cruise's last action movie, which is insane to think about. Like, he's doing a comedy next year, and then he's like 64. So it's like, these guys who we've been accustomed to since the 70s or 80s or 90s, it's like their times
A
are
dying
running out.
breed.
And so I just thought this movie was incredible, and I'm so glad you got it for me in 4K.
Oh yeah.
You got this for me, and I got you Sinners.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, number one, Avatar: Fire and Ash.
Fire and ass.
I've seen 2,500 movies. This is my 60-something favorite movie, and I've seen it twice in the theater. I'm going to go a third time. You
I
have yet
just
to
love
seen it.
I love how into this like just the Avatar series and the lore you are.
Well, I have to like go deep into this right now. Even
I
if
have
it's
to
like,
go here.
okay, this is like my time to shine. I understand every criticism of Avatar.
I don't have any.
I saw the first one in 2009 in the theater. I vaguely remember that memory, and from 2009 to 2022, number one, never rewatched Avatar. Number two, didn't really think about it that much. Number three, when I heard there were sequels, I was interested, but it wasn't like, this is my thing. Like, when I saw Way of Water in 2022, it changed everything, because, and I think Guillermo del Toro summed this up the best in a short video I watched today or yesterday, where he was like, in America, and I don't think it's like that prevalent anywhere else, but if we're just talking about America, as far as writer directors who've created their own universe, not, oh, I'm working with Marvel, or oh, I'm working with DC Comics. Like,
I'm adapting.
they invented everything. George Lucas, Star Wars, and then he mentioned the guy who did Wizard of Oz, which was more like books and then one
Still an
movie.
adaptation.
Yeah, but then he was like, and then it's James Cameron with Avatar. Like, if you like Star Trek, that's a lot of stuff going on there. If you like any of the superheroes, that's a lot of people with ideas and different variations of a lot of Batmans and Supermans and all this kind of stuff. This guy, you have to understand, he made the biggest movie ever. He took off 12 years, then made the next biggest movie ever. He took off 13 years, and then he made the next biggest movie ever. And I don't think Way of Water actually is the biggest, but it's like he has three of the top five, and then Fire and Ash
You say
for
biggest
box
as in
office.
box office. Yeah.
Yeah, so this guy like has basically gone through the Hollywood system and then became his own entity. And a lot of people complain that he's wasted 20 years on Avatar and he should be doing other stuff, or it's too similar to Ferngully
That's stupid.
and Pocahontas. And like, yes, a lot of the foundational storytelling, especially in the first movie, is very played out, but the world that James Cameron expands on and Way of Water and now Fire of Ash is incredible. Literally the only slight negative, it's one planet. And with Star Wars, it's like countless
Multiple,
planets.
yeah.
So like we have to stay on this planet and there's like a moon which they may go to. And then the idea is that he has scripts for Avatar 4 and 5, but he may or may not do those, TBD. But another thing I've seen is Fire and Ash is too much like Way of Water. Well, it's literally filmed and written in conjunction with Way of Water. It's set like less than a month after Way of Water. They still live in the water village, so there's going to be
Similarities.
It's like saying, well, I don't like Return of the Jedi because they go to Tatooine again. It's like, okay. And even with Star Wars, it's like, that's even actually more of a thing you could be complaining about because it's like they have to fly through space to go back to Tatooine. But literally, Pandora is like its own planet and like that's where they live. So it's like, no shit, there's water still.
Yeah.
But I think something that really is like interesting and cool and important to me is like the creature creation, and like George Lucas had a lot of people helping him with that kind of stuff, but the vastness of Star Wars is why I love Star Wars so much. And like if Star Wars never existed, I would say Avatar could easily be my favorite thing. Like
You like sci-fi generally.
I like sci-fi generally and I like world building. Like I really like Lord of the Rings, but that's more fantasy.
You like a good
I
like complex world.
Yeah,
where-
and I really like when those worlds are established and then we can do sandbox storytelling, bizarro stuff. And so like for Avatar to come out in '09 and kind of simultaneously be considered really awesome and great, but also kind of redundant on certain story aspects. But Way of Water and Fire Ash is like, yes, they're very similar together, but it expands so much. Like the entire second movie is like we're gonna learn the ways of the water, and then this new one is more like we've learned the ways of the water, but then there's still all these tribulations and like they're still in the middle of a war. Which was the other thing is like people complain that the end of the second movie and the end of the third movie are similar, and I'm like, well, they're in the same war on the same planet in the same location within the same time frame. So it's like that's not really like you can be upset, I guess, about that, but like so many of the people who complain about these movies, I just immediately say like I just shut them out of my like I have no energy to argue with people who don't like these movies. I'm just like that's you, but for me, I think they're incredible. And
I also think it's like kind of a like dumb take to just be like, why are they still making these? It's like, I'm sorry, but like there's how many of
this
like
is the third one
there's
in
like yeah, and, like
16 years.
how many John Wick are there? How many fucking scary movies are there? Like get over it. People
Well,
make
literally,
multiples
the
of
MCU
things.
started in '08 with Iron Man, and they made 20 something movies since then. And now with 1 year less, James Cameron's made 3 Avatars.
I would say you should go for quality over quantity in any way. And complaining that there's three is like my brother in Christ.
Real
It's
quick, I also
three.
mentioned Varang, which is the new villain lady who is a part. So the Fire and Ash part is there's a subset of Na'vi who lived near a volcano that erupted and burned their forest, and now they're the Ash people or the Ash Na'vi. And the Varang lady is like the leader of them, and she's like she has a speech where she talks about how she had to like become fire or learn how to use fire. And so it's very interesting the dynamics of the Soli family and the heart of Pandora, which is Awa, their goddess who controls everything. And like Kiri, who's played by Sigourney Weaver, is like the immaculate cloning of the Sigourney Weaver avatar from the first movie, and she's kind of like Awa's daughter or grandchild or whatever they say, and so she kind of like is in tune with the spirituality of the whole story. And meanwhile, these Ash people are like, we don't believe in Awa, or we don't care about her, that she didn't save our tribe. We don't, so we turned our back on Awa. And so you have these conflicting. It's not just like, oh, you're a different tribe than us, so we're just gonna kill you. It's like we want to kill all the Navi because we hate Awa so much. And so she gets with Stephen Lang's character, Miles Quaritch, the colonel guy, who's the like main bad guy, and he's like, I can give you guns and weapons, and you can kill all the Navi you want. And it's like it becomes like this villain romance thing, which almost has never happened in fan. Like, there's so many of these fantasy movies where like, oh well, Kylo Ren and Rey get together and be like a villain romance. That didn't really happen.
That didn't really, it kind of materialized.
And then you
probably.
have like some superhero stuff, but like I don't know. There's just not really like at no point in Harry Potter is like they're a cool, interesting Voldemort love story,
Yeah.
or in Lord of the Rings like Saruman's not like in love with a crazy female orc
Like, it's
something.
interesting to see the darker romance elements of a really cool fantasy story that are outside of just like a book.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of on-screen dark romance.
Yeah, so for that to be a part of this movie and almost the backbone of the movie and almost the best part of the movie, it's incredible. And there's also a sequence at the beginning where they get on these like giant floating ships, and it's almost like pirate ships in the air being led by these like giant jellyfish looking creatures. And I haven't even gone into like the matriarchal whale council with the old whale ladies and their earrings. And there's just so many levels, and that's why I want to watch it again and again. But and that's why I'm excited for you to see it. But I just thought I just had no notes really, and like I really want him to make a fourth and fifth one, even if we have to wait another 15 years. But the other thing I'll say lastly is the digital performance capture thing. Like James Cameron himself said, like I needed to like be more public about what these guys are actually doing because they basically had to wait over a decade to film the second film because they couldn't do performance capture in water. Like the technology wasn't invented yet. And it just like doubled down on the technology. And he makes a good point about how the actors, they had to put on a GoPro and they put dots on their face, but ultimately they're allowed to fully do whatever the heck they want, and everything's captured. And he says he doesn't even block or uh map out the scenes visually. He just lets the actors do what they want, and then he spends the post production time re-editing how it looks or whatever. And he said there's basically three ways people can act. They can act on a stage in theater where there's basically zero protection for the actors to the audience, or there's film acting where if they mess up a line, they just cut it out, or if it's not working, you can pause and redo certain things. And then the third one is motion capture, where really it's just the Avatar movies, Andy Serkis and Lord of the Rings and the Planet of the Apes movies, and that's it.
Yeah.
And his point was 90+% of actors have never done this, and so they don't know what it is. And so he started to do workshops in Hollywood and other places. And he said every single one they did, a ton of people stayed after and had all these questions, and not one person came up to him and was like, "This is so dumb." Like everyone was
Yeah.
like, "This is crazy how you're doing this." So anyway,
Cool technological advancements that are not specifically generative AI.
like, and yeah, that's the other thing is it's this. There's no AI in these movies, and another thought would be if like, I mean, George Lucas and the whole Star Wars thing, they did so much for film technology with ILM and, you know, practical effects. But at the same time, there wasn't a decade long wait of figuring out how to do a brand new technology for actors in the film you're doing. And so it's just like another layer of incredible achievement, I say.
Yeah. I'm excited to see it.
Okay, so that's our list. You want to recap real quick?
Yeah, I'd love
Just go
to.
10 through 1.
Yep. So number 10, Rental Family. Number 9, Eddington. Number 8, Frankenstein. Number 7, Superman. Number 6, Friendship. Number 5, Marty Supreme. Number 4, Begonia. And Jordan's top 3 of the year. Number 3, Hamnet. Number 2, Sinners. And number 1, One Battle After Another.
And then my top 10, number 10, Weapons. Number 9, Superman. Number 8, Begonia. Number 7, Marty Supreme. Number 6, Sinners. Number 5, Eddington. Number 4, Friendship. Number 3, One Battle After Another. Number 2, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. And number 1, Avatar: Fire and Ash.
Amazing.
I just realized my top 2 films have a colon after the first word. Well, thanks for listening and have a great new year.
Bye.